To be honest, I don't consider myself to be a rapper. I don't consider myself to be a producer or songwriter. I'm just me. I'm an artist in every sense of the word. If I wasn't doing music, I'd probably be drawing or painting or maybe be an actor or anything I could do to just create.
Nigga never lies, so he's looking cause you gon' find one that's gon' die for they feelings. I tell him what it is from the...
Yo, what's good? Jamari Mikell, singer, songwriter, producer, rapper, soon to be mix engineer, mastering, whatever, you know. Just released a single called Never Lie. A lot of people really like it. A lot of people hit me up, want to know what the process behind the creation of Never Lie was. So we got a little something for you today, you know, kind of break it down, show you the ins and outs of it, the different components that put it all together, pretty much my workflow, how I get things going and how I finish a track.
Tell him what it is from the jump, and if shorty
You're gonna have to make them speak up. What the GTD?
I kind of got my creative side from, you know, seeing my dad be creative young. You know, he used to bring me in his studio, and I used to sit there and watch him draw. Used to sit there and watch him paint, you know. He was a DJ, so he was always playing some real good music. You know, a lot of smooth shit like, you know, Sade, Art of Noise, shit like that, you know.
And, I started to lay my kick down first. Now, when I lay my kick down, I make sure that it's spaced out pretty far. And this is the kick pattern. Little trick of mine is to basically to give the beat more bounce. I added a reverse kick. So as this is going, something real subtle that you really don't hear in the beat at first. Basically gives the beat a little bit more attention for me. Then I added a simple hi-hat groove. Basically to keep the timing of it, give it a little speed. It's almost like obvious where the snare is gonna fall. I tried to put the rim in. A lot of times when I'm putting, you know, drums and stuff in, I try not to use the same sounds that everybody else is using, you know. So this kick is something I got from like a EDM pack, you know. It's pretty loud, pretty wide, you know, creates a different vibe than your typical trap, you know, 808 or kick. And then I did a reverse kick to basically give the beat a little bit more attention. So it's just like real subtle, but it basically leads you into the different kick hits. Here, next thing I added was a little bit more percussion. I really like using shakers and open hi-hats, so. Well, this is the overall drum pattern.
But maybe like 16, I realized, you know, that I wanted to actually do music. I never intended on being a rapper. I never intended on writing songs. I never intended on singing on nothing, you know. In my mind, I couldn't really do those things. So, you know, I just wanted to make beats. And maybe 16, I realized I wanted to do that. And then I went to college at 17.
Just those two musical elements wasn't enough. So I used this other Serum pad called Dreamy Bells. It's basically like a keyboard pad, keyboard sound. And I went in and basically played the same chords that I was playing in the pad, but I just played them staccato. So I'll play that for you. Once again, just filling in those spaces that was kind of open. The next thing I did was there's a lead sound that I added for the hook part of the song. And that basically just sits over the top of everything else. Throw the drums back in. All of that was the foundation of my beat. Then I took everything out and put it in Studio One. I'll show you that in a minute.
I had to decide what I was gonna do. So I started taking the money that I was receiving from me working, and I started investing in different programs. I bought me a computer with a, refund check that I had, my first computer. Bought some software. I first started producing on FL Studio, which is, for people who don't know, Fruity Loops. And kind of built from there, man.
I dropped them into this software called Studio One. Studio One is dope because if you buy the pro version, it has a mixing and it has a mastering suite within the software where you can basically do everything that you need within just one program, which is real dope. But I just took those sounds and I arranged them in a way to basically give us a little movement and a little tension. So here's that. Use a filter. Now, didn't go over yet was the bass. And once again, I used a program called Serum. And I basically programmed this bass so that I can have some bottom to the beat. And it basically plays either, the root notes of the chords. And I'll play the pad with it. After I got the bass in there, I just added a few like sound effects in there to kind of give the beat a little movement, a little transition to let you know the different parts of the song that we're going into. I got this the snare sample that I used. I got this riser. It's real subtle in the beat, but you hear it. And then this right here is a snare rise that I found somewhere. I use that, and then this is a basically a fill, a tom fill. You know how people drumming and they doo, 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 doo. That's basically what that is. And I just put like some crazy, effects on there. Now we can get into the vocal parts. A lot of people don't know, like, I record all of my vocals here in my house. Hopefully nobody's running over the running around upstairs, you know, making a lot of noise. But I recorded everything through this. This is an MXL, I think V67. I used to work at a music store, so I got it for cheap, and I think I paid like $25 for it. Mic wise, it's one of the cheaper mics, but it's pretty good quality for what you pay for it. I think like typically you pay like 80, 90 bucks for it. But I basically went in, started recording my vocal parts. I had already written the song after I got the beat together.
I be your daughter, kryptonite. I get her right when she delights herself in me. She fiending for the D, she scratching like she got the fleet.
And then just added a few effects on there. Reverb, a little delay, some compression, some EQ. Another trick that I use is there's this high-end vocal trick that I use to basically like sweeten up my vocal. And I did my dubs, which is basically like me doubling certain parts, important parts of the song. So I'll play that.
Probably no action from my little man.
And those areas basically, like I said, they just emphasize certain things that I'm saying. So here's the whole vocal part with the dubs, with that high-end vocal thing that I do. And then I think I did some ad-libs as well. Let me see.
Now probably no action from my little man. 20-year-old version, never in the plan. Tired of watching Roxy J, the fire working out my hand. Got a little action, but no booty though. Had a couple cuties, let me make it to the play, but that was first though.
Kind of brings it out a little bit more. And last but not least, I added two samples from, one is from Boomerang. Everybody pretty much knows what Boomerang is, but it's a movie with who's in there? Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy, Halle Berry. A huge, like, iconic black movie. And the parts where they were having dinner and Pops basically embarrassed his son. So that's this.
You didn't marry me for my cooking.
You got that right, baby. That's why we got little Junior over there. Bang, 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 bang.
I thought that Martin Lawrence, one of my favorite shows of all time, and one of my favorite parts of all time is when basically Martin had got the parking ticket. I think he had a parking ticket or something like that, and he basically drew out the whole situation and ended up going to court. And this was him basically interrogating Tommy.
Your Honor, you're gonna have to make him speak up. What does GTD stand for? Got the draws, okay?
Shit is hilarious. So.
Nigga never lies to these women, cause you gon' find one that's gon' die for their feelings. I tell them what it is from the jump.
Yo, so that was Never Lie. You seen how I put it together. You seen how I got the vocals together. Seen the mic I recorded it with, you know. Tell people all the time, man, it doesn't take a lot. It just takes, you know, your willingness to do it. And got it done, man. A lot of people rock with it. A lot of people like it. If you haven't heard it, check it out. You can find it on all platforms: iTunes, Apple, Tidal, Spotify, Google, Amazon, wherever you listen to music. Pandora, you can find it on Shazam. Wherever you listen to music, you can find it. And my social media, if you're not following me, if you're not familiar with what I do, check me out. You can find me on Facebook at Jamari Mikell Music. You can find me on Instagram at Jamari_Mikell. And yeah, that's it, man.
I'm crying the river, and honestly, I think like a booty ain't good.